Well, listen, why don't we move from the tennis court to courtship? Because the U.S. Open recently announced it's going to be hosting its very own reality dating show. You're like, what's the connection? It's going to be an 8-episode series, and the name of the series, Game, Set, Matchmaker. Very clever. It's going to feature Ilana Sadaka, who they describe as a tennis-savvy bachelorette.
She's not AI. She's not AI. She's a real
That's
person.
a very good point.
She's
Thank you
also
for
not
that.
a tennis stance either.
Yeah, she's not a tennis player. They call her tennis-savvy, and she's going to be matched with 7 men. They'll be going on dates, and that includes playing games, exploring the tennis center. The series is set to air during the upcoming Grand Slam tournament, which is later this month. But a lot of tennis fans are already worrying that this is a big gimmick and kind of maybe distracting for the sport of tennis. So is this disrespectful to tennis?
No.
Is it?
No, I don't think so at all. Listen, I'm so anti-gatekeeping in sports. I think because there are generations of families and fans who cheer for a club or a team or a league, sometimes if you are not familiar with a sport, you're made to feel other than. So, like, I know when I started my career in sports, it was like, oh, you can't tell me who won the Grey Cup back in 19 whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you don't
That's
belong
awful.
here.
No, you're
and the
right.
reason I say that is because I think we're in this era of sports culture where we should be bringing more people in. It doesn't matter if you don't watch game in, game out of tennis. If you fall in love with the sport or the arena or the activities around the sport through this game, I had no problem with it. It's none.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, well, we're sitting next to each other, but we're not agreeing on this one because I feel the opposite. I think they should rename the show Game Set Garbage because that's what it feels like to me.
Why?
And I'm gonna tell you why. You know, ever since Michael Jordan's Last Dance docuseries, did you guys watch that? It came out in 2020. There's been an onslaught of really great sports docuseries that have introduced people to sports, whether it's F1, whether it's the Birmingham Soccer Club. And it's interesting because you really get to know the people and the management and the fans. And it really gives you a chance to understand the sport and maybe just fall in love with it, whether you are a novice or a fan to begin with. And I feel like this show, even though I love, don't get me wrong, I love a dating reality show. Y'all know. Ultimatum, Perfect Match, you name it. I love all the shows. I don't understand why we need to marry these two things and have a person who's not a tennis player, but a tennis novice with cleavage and to me, it's doing a disservice. And we were just talking about Vicky Mboko. Well, let's think about the Vicky Mboko who's 8 years old right now, who's really excited about tennis. And now we're gonna have a show on where we're taking this sport that she loves and we're putting sex on it. For what reason, I don't understand, and it's people who don't play the sport. I don't get it.
What do you think, Cyn?
I'm not a watcher of either tennis nor dating shows, so I was right up your alley. Right up my alley. But I do think there's something a little bit tacky about this. Like, it feels a little desperate, right?
Yeah.
Even still, I'm not protective of the game of tennis, but they are trying to attract another new audience, which I also understand. Even though I didn't know this, even though tennis happens to be one of the most popular games in the United States, like people love to play it.
26 million people.
It isn't the most, it draws a smaller viewing audience than both football and basketball. And also Gen Z in general isn't watching
So
as many
Gen
sports.
Z is watching reality dating shows.
That's right. So they're trying, it's a business
But you're
decision.
trying to tie two things.
I know, but
Who
I guess
cares?
they're just trying to like bring in the next generation of audience because presumably if less and less young people are watching it, eventually live sports things could presumably die. What my question is why tennis? Like, how would people feel if this was a Super Bowl dating show, or if this was like a Stanley Cups dating show?
But
like, would we feel like I feel like there's some fans who would come
I think that this is a trial. Don't you think this is it's only going to launch on YouTube to start? That is where the young people are watching things. They're not watching traditional television. They're just not the way that our generation does. They don't. I think this is a trial. It's 8 series or 8 episodes. It's on YouTube. I think if it flops, game's garbage. But if it also does well, that you might see it transfer over to main network television, in which case mission accomplished. When you brought up F1, if anybody watches Drive to Survive, it brought in a whole new fan base to F1 racing.
30% of the fans attribute it to that show.
And that's
they
great,
live to
but
that
it's
show, but
about-
it's also about money. Because I think when you saw what happened between 2018 and 2022, the revenue, because of new viewership, their annual sponsorship revenues are up 3 billion. This is about money for tennis,
You're right.
I think.
You're right, but here's the deal.
Yeah.
What's great about that F1 show is it's focusing on the people who are already a part of the sport. It's not taking someone who's never driven in a race car before and put them in some low-cut top and say, oh, you know what, we're gonna sex it up and we're gonna date. No, it's about the actual sport.
Yeah.
You're just giving them like a behind-the-scenes documentary about what's going on so people can fall in love with it, and that's why I don't like this show. And it also reeks of some older person going, we gotta get to the younger demographic. What do they like? It reeks of that.
Let's see.
The kids aren't
Let's
stupid.
see what happens.
The kids aren't stupid.
Let's see.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.